This one. Farewell. Over here. Go for kill. Go for this one. Let's try. It's done. Which means the curse should be broken.
Clive! Is it done then?
It is. I was going to ask if there had been any change in Talor's condition, but judging by that smile on your face, I think I already know the answer.
You do? Talor! He's back!
Thank you, my lord. I can never repay you for everything you've done for me. I owe you my life.
I'm just glad the curse is lifted. There is one thing I'd like to know, though. If you don't mind my asking. What made you seek the Tombury's help in the first place?
Oh, that, well, you deserve to know. It was years ago now, back in my trading days. The Sons of Greek arrested me in Oriflamme, chained me up in a lightless cell with a great sword hung over my head, ready to fall if I didn't confess. Though they never said to what. I didn't, of course. So eventually they just let me go. And I never told a soul. Tried to forget it ever happened. But then you came along and the sight of your sword brought it all flooding back. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't hardly breathe, and I thought that if I gave my old chain to the Tomburys, maybe they could take all that pain away. All that anger. But it only made it worse.
Oriflamme has fallen. And the men who tortured you likely fell with it.
If only I'd known, I might have spared everyone a lot of trouble. I'd convinced myself that you were like them, that all outsiders were the same, but you're not. Far from it. Thank you, son. Thank you.
Clive, there's something I need to tell you. After we parted ways on the path to the cloak, I went straight back to Talor and explained to him what you were doing on his behalf. And just like that, his pain began to fade.
What do you mean? Just like that? The Tonbury King would have still been alive. I had to contend with dozens of his minions before I found him.
Then, perhaps one of them warned him of your coming and he broke off his ritual. Or, perhaps knowing that an outsider was fighting for him was what lifted the weight from Talor's heart. I know, from experience, that many illnesses are not wholly physical, but of the spirit, at least in part.
Was there ever really a curse then? Or was Talor simply suffering from the pain of his memories? And the guilt of what he'd done? For all the difference it makes. I suppose we'll never know.
Maybe not. But this much I do know. It was your strength and your selflessness that healed his heart in the end.
I'll be sure to tell my healer friend when I get home. Well, here's the cairn. But no sign of Nasef. To the riverbank, then.
These will do nicely.
Get him! It's over!
Return to the sea, and to the clouds rise again.
We have our bait then. What next?
Next, we pay a visit to the Dark Gate to pick some local weed. It'll help disguise our scent. There should be a sprig or two of local weed growing somewhere around here. Look for the golden leaves.
Is this it?
Aye, that's the stuff. Crush the leaves between your fingertips and rub them on your clothes.
If you insist. You could have warned me about the smell.
Like corruption, isn't it? We'll have an honor guard of flies before long. But it'll stop the Givra from noticing us. Its nose will tell it we're nothing but a feast for worms.
Oh, I feel so much better.
We can wash it off afterwards. If there's one good thing about the Givra choosing the ruins for its hunting ground, it's that there's plenty of fresh water nearby.
Where should we lay the bait?
Givras are creatures of habit. Look for some sign of its passing. It's sure to return to the same place sooner or later.
Marking its territory.
Something was. A curl, maybe.
fresh kill.
But not a Givras. The wounds are too clean, too small.
These look like a predator's tracks. You can clearly make out the claws.
And not just any claws. These belong to a Givra. There's no mistaking them. We'll lay the bait here.
Let's hope our friend is hungry. Still no sign.
Patience, Clive. Hunting's not something you can rush.
Have you stalked these beasts before?
Once. Givras are fast, so the job called for a bearer. But even with my knack, it was a close-run thing.
Not many leaders would take such risks for their people.
Says the man who battled an icon to save a boy he barely knew. It is the way of the moats of water to use what gifts we've been given for the good of all. And I gather it's your way too.
It was Sid, the man whose name I bear. He fought for his people and their future with every fiber of his being. I'm just following in his footsteps. In many ways, you remind me of him.
Me? You're confusing daring with desperation. Quiet. Something's coming. Our guest has finally arrived.
Shall we greet him?
It'd be rude not to. Don't let it escape.
You weren't exaggerating when you said they were dangerous.
They're forces of nature, all right. And with this one's passing, the river of life has calmed. O roaring torrent, son of storms, may your spirit run free in the open ocean. This flesh I claim, that your gifts might rain down upon us this day, and our river flow in spate once more. Well then, let's return to the village. We must get this tongue to Yamila before it spoils.
Tributary, my lord. Did all proceed as planned?
It did. Here. 1 Geaver tongue, as promised.
Oh, thank you. I shall add it to the broth at once. By your leave, tributary.
If there is anything else that we can do to help, you need only ask.
No. You've already done more for my family than I can ever repay.
Just as you have, Clive, for my family. I only regret that I have nothing to offer you in return but my gratitude.
It's more than enough. Besides, I'm no less grateful to you.
For what?
For welcoming my friends and I into your midst. For showing us how your people live. For reminding me that the world we strive to create, where bearers can live alongside their fellow men in peace and comfort, is no mere fantasy.
I'd hardly call it comfort. Every day is a struggle. Though we do at least struggle together, it's true.
As must we all. I only ask that you remember the cost of using your gifts as a bearer. I know that you feel it's your duty to do whatever you can to help your people. But you have a child to think about now. And Wallis has lost enough.
I shall bear that in mind.
That's all I ask. Oh, and if there is anything else that we can do to help, well, you know.
Thank you. Truly. to be him.
What has to be who? If you, don't mind my asking.
It's not your asking, I mind. It's my explaining. But I don't see any other way around it. You see, when a baby is born here, we hold a ceremony to welcome them. The rite of immersion, we call it. But I don't know whether Walyus was ever afforded that courtesy. What is abundantly clear, though, is that my ancestors never welcomed him as one of us. And I want to change that. The problem is, the ceremony requires 3 ministrators, the baby's parents and a witness. As tributary, the role of witness would normally fall to me, but being Walyus's closest living relative, I must play the role of mother.
So you want me to serve as witness in your stead?
That's right. A witness must be a trusty guardian, ready to steer the child through the stormy waters of life and on to tranquility. Which is why I thought of you.
It would be my honor.
Thank you, Clive.
So, if you will serve as mother and I as witness, who will take on the father's role?
I have a younger brother. He should be making ready for the rite as we speak, though whether he is or not. Let me introduce you.
Please do. If he's anything like his sister, I'm sure we'll get on famously.
I'll bid him come to the Witten Hall. Will you wait for us there?
Gladly.
It is good to have him back.
We don't. So we'd better let him.
Clive, my brother.
If it isn't my old mate Sid!
You?
So you do remember me, even stripped of my cunning disguise? I'm touched.
You two know each other.
My friends and I crossed paths with your brother on our hunt for the dusk crystals, during which we saved his life. 3 times, was it?
3, 4, who's counting? All I know is when Shula mentioned she'd called in Sid the Outlaw to help young Walyas, I could be sure that the little rascal was in safe hands. I mean, having seen you in action back at the tower, I know exactly what you're capable of.
So the mercenary you met in the Sage Spire, that was Clive. And he saved your life? That's a rather different story from the one you told me. And a far likelier one at that. It would appear my family owe you twice over. Whether they admit it or not. Honestly, Fammy, would it kill you to tell the truth once in a while?
What? I said sorry, didn't I? How about we save the, recriminations until after the ceremony, eh?
Speaking of which, what does this ceremony involve exactly?
It's simple, really. We each say a short prayer and anoint the child's head with holy water.
Nothing too onerous, then.
Not about the rite itself, no. But it does call for some preparation. One of the witness's responsibilities is to collect the holy water, you see. 3 phials for the 3 ministrators, each taken from a particular place. Don't worry, though. It's not as if you have to go alone. I can show you the way.
I'd appreciate that.
Famiel, you stay here and ready the Witten Hall.
Leave it to me.
If there's anything Jill and I can do to assist you.
We'd be glad to help.
Thank you both. All right then, let's get started, shall we? There are 3 types of holy water that we must collect. The water of the mountain, of the river, and of the sea. We take the water of the mountain from the spring atop Maiden's March. The water of the river from the course that flows through the ruins of Riversmeet. And the water of the sea from the shallows of Tailwind Bay. Here are the phials we'll be using in the ceremony. I'm ready to leave whenever you are.
Stay back! I'm warning you!
Someone's in trouble. Come on.
Help! Help? What help? Nobody's coming to... Help?
We're here to help. Keep its attention on us.
I'll do more than that.
I needed that.
Stay back! I'm warning you!
Someone's in trouble. Come on.
Help! Help? What help? Nobody's coming to... Help?
We're here to help. Keep its attention on us.
I'll do more than that.
Over here! Someone's in trouble. Come on.
Help! Help? What help? Nobody's coming to... Help?
We're here to help. Keep its attention on us. We're all ready. Get him! Help me, boy. Is anyone hurt?
Oh, Sid! Thank all the clouds in the heavens you came. You saved us. Again!
Would you two care to explain what you're doing up here?
The chief sent us to fetch incense for the ceremony. So the Witten Hall smells nice. For the little Ben.
You mean to tell me you braved this den of deadly beasts for some tree sap?
You don't have to do everything he says, you know.
Or if you must, at least have the good sense to ask one of our hunters to accompany you.
We're sorry.
It's fine. Just go back to the village before you get yourselves into any more trouble.
Right, you are. Oh, and thanks and that.
Remind me to give my brother a cuff round the ear when we get back. Right then. Let's collect this water, shall we? The rain that falls on the mountain emerges here, in these springs.
The source of the river. The source of life.
Precisely. Take care not to spill it.
Right. Let's save that for the ceremony.